What is up, everybody? This is Alex from IHE TV. We've got some great news. We have some awesome news to kick off the week, which I'll deliver through this Entertainment Weekly article. Ian McKellen reveals Gandalf and Frodo to return to Memberberry for The Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum, the new installment in the sprawling fantasy franchise to be directed by original Gollum actor Andy Serkis will commence production in May, McKellen says. Back to Middle-earth post-haste. Old friends are waiting. Ian McKellen, the legendary actor behind Gandalf the Grey and the original Lord of the Flies film trilogy, dropped a bombshell bit of casting news over the weekend. I hear there's going to be another movie based in Middle-earth and it's going to start filming in May. It's going to be directed by Gollum. And it's all about Gollum. McKellen teased at the For the Love of Fantasy fan event in London. What is this? I've never heard of this. Kind of interesting. Damn, it's expensive. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Last year, original Lord of the Rings helmer Peter Jackson was announced as producing a new live-action installment in the Lord of the Rings franchise, with Gollum actor Andy Serkis directing and starring in the new film that was slated for a 2026 release at the time. The film is now expected in December 2027. McKellen then shocked the audience with new details. Gronk cosplay. Is this related?
Well, I hear there's going to be another movie set in Middle-earth.
God damn, he's old.
And it's going to start filming in May. It's going to be directed by Gollum, and it's all about Gollum.
This is so strange.
But I'll tell you two secrets about the casting. There's a character in the movie called Frodo. And there's another character called Gandalf.
Okay. So there's a bunch of the cast there. That's quite cool.
My lips are sealed.
Huge Hunt for Gollum casting announcement. It's not really a huge announcement if you know anything about the actual story, like when this film is supposed to be taking place. I'll tell you two secrets about the casting. There's a character in the movie called Frodo and there's a character in the movie called Gandalf, he said, smiling to himself as the crowd gasped in amazement. McKellen joked, apart from that, my lips are sealed. Entertainment Weekly has reached out for a rep for Warner Bros. For comment. Earlier in the day, Warner Bros. Discovery CEO and President David Zaslav, discussed Serkis' film during the company's quarterly earnings call. Zaslav noted that Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum joins the likes of upcoming Batman, Superman, and Harry Potter projects at the top of the studio's priority list. Though McKellen did not specifically say whether he and original Frodo Baggins star Elijah Wood would reprise their roles in the film, Wood was present at the fan event, smiling conspiratorially as McKellen spoke alongside fellow Lord of the Ring alums Sean Astin, Dominic Monaghan, Billy Boyd, and John Rhys-Davies. I've just had a horrible vision of the future. I don't think this film is going to play out, at least critically, or with audiences. It might be able to make money if it's enough CG goober nostalgia bait, but I don't really know anymore. Like, I'm super curious how that new Star Wars movie is going to do. The Mandalorian movie. I don't know if there's really an appetite for that, especially if they have trained their audiences to just wait a few months and it'll be on Disney+. But obviously this Harry Potter TV show remake BS is being made, and I have a feeling it's going to be enormously popular, so they'll probably wind up doing a similar treatment to Lord of the Rings and just remake the original books. If I had to guess, if they still have the rights to that kind of thing. Since the original Lord of the Rings film trilogy wrapped up in 2003 with the Oscar-winning Return of the King, McKellen, Wood, and Jackson all returned to Middle-earth with the Hobbit trilogy, which unspooled between 2012 and 2014. Jackson was not involved in the Lord of the Rings: The Rings of Power series, but last year he produced the franchise's first animated foray into the works of J.R.R. Tolkien. Oh yeah, I never saw this. It didn't look great. Jackson was joined on the project by Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyens, both producers on the original film trilogy, who were also on board for The Hunt for Gollum. In June, Serkis told Collider, we're very early on in the process. We've been talking about the film over the course of the last year. We're about to start a period of prep in the next few months or so. We will be shooting in the early to mid part of next year, I guess, and then it will be as long as it takes to shoot, which it's a sizable movie, all ready for a December 2027 release. I despise this idea. I think it's just so gross, and I don't know why the original cast members and crew are doing this. It's like, just let it die. Has it not been through enough with the Hobbit stuff? It's like, what are you going to do? I thought Aragorn is a huge part of what is going on with Gollum. during the period of time that the story will be set. Hopefully they're doing an adaptation of the Lord of the Rings Gollum game from 2023. Everyone loved that. That worked out really well. I always find it fascinating when people leave comments on things like Entertainment Weekly articles. Daniel says, okay, this had my interest officially peaked. It would be worth it just to see Sir Ian and Elijah back on their most iconic roles one last time, as long as it does justice for the characters. Mr. McKellen must have gotten jealous of that love that Patrick Stewart has been receiving after coming back as Captain Picard and Professor X, so now he's coming back as Gandalf and Magneto, of course, with such a massive roster of extremely beloved and well-drawn characters with rich, dense lore that the Lord of the Rings franchise has at its disposal. Gollum was nowhere near the top of the list of one that I ever had thought needed a dedicated standalone spin-off, so it'll be interesting to see how this turns out. Is this a real human? Very weird vibe to that comment. As soon as this starts becoming an explanation or a reason to see something back in their most iconic roles one last time, it just gives me PTSD flashbacks to Force Awakens, and this kind of empty storytelling that's more about, it's like pop vinyl storytelling, where it's all about iconography and recognizable images. There's just empty calorie references. Chapter 7, I am so happy about this news. Hard to believe that Return of the King was 22 years ago. I can't wait for this new project to be shown in 2027. Are these like AI bots? Like, what is with this? Super curious to see what this winds up being. The fact he's describing it as a big-ass movie, and I guess it has to be a big blockbuster too, but picking Gollum as the perspective character is just like, what? Is it gonna have to be sanded down like the Venom movies, where you have like a villainous character in the main role? Just from every storytelling angle, it's frustrating, where it's like, defeats the whole point of Gollum as a character in those stories, what he represents. His relationship to the main character is kind of what makes him as potent as he is within the story, but we've seen that story. Like, that story has been adapted, and it was adapted particularly well in an almost lightning in a bottle kind of moment where it had to exist then and there. And they've already tried to recapture that energy with those Hobbit movies that, as I was getting at, didn't really work out. Although the Gollum scene is very good in that first Hobbit movie. There were other things pulling it back, but I don't know if I can handle a 3-hour-long Gollum movie, but I guess we'll wait and see. Let me know your thoughts on this news, on the idea of this film at all. Is anyone genuinely excited for this outside of the new pop vinyls that are going to be released? All the different variants of Gollum. Gollum sad. Gollum eating fish. Gollum elated. I'm going to collect the whole line, don't worry about it. Guess I'll see you on the next vid. Bye.